guys, welcome back to Rocket Gyan, my fellow space tubers, and today we are here again to witness a Soyuz launch, which is in not in good reputation these days, but obviously this is a rocket which has been flying for over so long, and yeah, now we'll see it again. So this time we will be seeing it again, and this time it will be going to International Space Station. So everyone, welcome to the stream. Hi Matthew, hi Space Exploration, welcome, and Parth Patel, welcome to this stream. So we are T minus 22 minutes from the launch. Everything is looking great, and let me tell you that these launches to the ISS have an instantaneous launch window. So therefore, if anything goes wrong, then they need to reschedule it. So talking about this mission, we have a couple of things going on in this mission, which obviously I'll be talking about. So first of all, these are the live views of the rocket. T minus 22 minutes from the launch. Everything is looking as per the plan. Now let's talk about the rocket itself, right? Just check. So we have, I think you can see it, right? Yeah, so we have this rocket in front of you, which you can see. This is a Soyuz version, which is capable of flying humans, but we don't need that. So we can just replace this part from a normal fairing, which we just saw. So if we just explode it, we can see a couple of things right here. So first of all, this has 4 boosters and 1 core stage, which we all know, and then 1 for second stage, which ignites before separation. So that's that. And then we have a Progress spacecraft here. So talking about this, the first stage has 4 RD-107A engine, which you can see here in this, and this one has RD-108A engines, then RD-0110 engines. So this is how it looks like, and obviously everything runs on RP1 and locks as its fuel. So yep, that's that for the rocket, which this is a very well-known rocket, so I don't need to go into details. So I think it's all right. We can skip to the next part, and that is the Progress spacecraft. Hi Space Maniac, great to start to a Friday. Glad to catch another of your streams. Thank you so much for coming in, and I hope you will like the stream. So here we have the Progress spacecraft, which you can see. This Progress spacecraft, this Progress spacecraft is well loaded with the supplies this time. Although this has been, since this is being released from Russia, so we don't have much details as in what exactly is going inside this rocket, but we do have some details which I'll share it with you. So this is loaded with cargo, included of 599 kg of fuel, 420 liters of water, 40 kg of compressed nitrogen, and 1458 kg of equipment for the Expedition 67 crew. So around 2500 is what is the kg is the supply weight, and this is the distribution of everything. Along with this, we have 4 CubeSats also going in, which includes the Sholkovsky Ryazan number 1-2 and Yuzgu 55 number 11-12, which I'll actually show if I can. Yeah, this one. So these are the Yuzgu 55 number 11-12 CubeSats. So these satellites will not be deployed from the Progress spacecraft, but once inside the ISS, they will be deployed from the ISS. And yes, ISS has a CubeSat deployer, because it has a very high orbit, and sometimes the CubeSats can go into that orbit. So yes, that's that for it. So now moving on, this is the Progress spacecraft. As I already told you, this is how it looks like once it gets encapsulated inside the fairing. This is the fairing, and this is the spacecraft, which you can see. And talking about the Progress spacecraft itself, so this, as a normal Soyuz spacecraft, this also has 3 sections, which has a cargo section. The front part is the cargo section. The middle part is the tanker section, and the third part is the instrumentation and propulsion section. So this cargo section obviously is loaded with all the cargo which is needed. This tanker section is able to refuel the basically it carries the fuel and refuel the International Space Station if there is any need, and obviously it is able to boost the spacecraft, the International Space Station, so that is needed. This is the tanker section, the cargo, and the instrumentation and propulsion is nothing but all the things which are necessary for the spacecraft itself and not for the ISS. So this is for the spacecraft, the propulsion and all the electronics and subsystems and all those things. And obviously it has a course auto docking system in place, which is a very reliable one, but has been in some not so great working since last few launches, but at the end of the day everything works fine. So yeah, it's all right, because they take a manual override and then they can easily dock it. So that is that. Now moving on to the next part, which I have already discussed about this one, the flight profile. So this is the flight profile, which you can see the first stage, the liftoff will happen at here. The first stage will jettison at 1 minute 58 seconds, which is the beautiful correlate formation will happen, which hopefully we'll be able to see. Then the fairings will depart. Then the second stage will cut off and will jettison, and the third stage will ignite before the separation. So this is known as hot stage ignition. So that is that, and we have then finally the jettison, the separation of the Progress spacecraft and deployment of the solar panels and the antennas. So this is how the launch profile would look like, and this is how the rendezvous profile will look like. So this one is going to rendezvous in 3 hours and 30 minutes, which you can see in front of you. So this one is a fast rendezvous, and this is going to make 2 orbits around the Earth for it to have a fast rendezvous. And the Progress spacecraft will stay in orbit for around 256 days. So you can say around 9 months, around 8 to 9 months on orbit, and then it will depart. But the orbit insertion looks very similar. Once the orbit is inserted in here, which you can see, it will boost the orbit from here, start the orbit boosting maneuver here to boost the orbit in this manner, and here again it will start the initiate the booster to boost it in this one. Rather than from this, it will go in this, and then finally boosting will happen is to circularize with the ISS orbit. And here obviously it will be near the ISS, and then it will do the approach and docking maneuver, which it has to do. So this is how everything looks like. So hopefully things have been explained properly to you. Let me just see once if okay, so we do have it. Just a second, guys. I'll just okay, yep, you can see it now.
Grin.
Okay, cool.
The weather in Baikonur at this hour is currently 85 degrees with clear skies. Everything all set, and the fueling operations went smoothly over the past few hours.
Hi Nishant, welcome to the stream. And yes, this stream quality is a high one because this is not NASA's coverage. So yes, that's why I hope it will be in sync with the audio which you are hearing, so that I'm just giving you a convenience option. So getting a higher quality video as well as with English audio. So yeah, if it might not be in sync, but I have tried my best. So let's see.
raise the orbit to match that of the International Space Station before automated rendezvous operations begin later today. This will be a quick 2-orbit trip before Progress arrives to the International Space Station. At the time of launch today, the International Space Station will be flying 259 statute miles over northeast Kazakhstan.
And yes, this, as I initially told you, that there is an instantaneous launch window, and there is a reason for that, because you have to catch International Space Station, and there is a condition that if you need to save your fuel, if you need to have an optimum trajectory, then if the spacecraft or anything you are catching is just flying over you, then it is having the best fuel which you can save, and hence an instantaneous launch window. That's why we have an instantaneous launch window for everything going to International Space Station. Although there are some exceptions, but I'm not talking about that here. So hi Matt, how are you? We are T minus 12 minutes. Everything is looking great, which you can see in front of you. The vehicle is loaded with the fuel. You can see it's gassing out there. Yes, that's how the rockets work, the cryogenic ones. So that's happening. Although there is some, a Russian propaganda on the second stage relating to Donbass. I won't be discussing about that, but yeah, that is that. And there is also some confirmation about the future of ISS with Russia. So there have been some whatever Rogozin said is completely trash. I'm just telling you the truth. The Russian officials have said that everything which is there from Russia will be departed once they have a Russian space station in space. So, and it will be done in taking all the advice from the partners. So that is how it has been stated officially, properly. So yep, so don't worry about
Second stage shutdown and separation will occur just over 4.5 minutes after launch, followed by the jettisoning of the third stage skirt that will enable the third stage engine to ignite and continue the rise to the preliminary orbit for Progress 81. Again, that third stage shutdown and orbital insertion comes at the 8-minute 45-second mark, followed just seconds by third stage separation, and then the activation of the pre-programmed commands to deploy the solar arrays on Progress, along with its rendezvous antennas and navigational antennas.
Just a second, guys.
Now less than 10 minutes until today's launch.
Just a second, guys. I'm just trying to sync it once so that no problem. Just hold. Okay. All right. Right. Okay, so we are T minus 8 minutes. Everything is looking good. T minus 9 minutes, 8 minutes 53 seconds, 9 minutes, and so okay, I need to update my timer also here. But things are looking great. It is going as per
We're
the
now
plan.
less than 9 minutes away from launch. The countdown will soon move into its automated phase that will include the purging of nitrogen from the first stage engines. That propellant drain back makes sure the first stage of the Progress booster has the correct amount of propellant for its first 2 minutes of flight. Following that, booster propellant tank pressurization will occur and the ground propellant feed will be terminated.
So we are T minus 8 minutes and 14 seconds remaining. Everything is looking great. And hopefully you will see, first of all, you will see the these arm retracting, and then finally you will see it will go into space. And let me just tell you, if you are just watching this Soyuz stream for the first time, then let me tell you that the engine ignition for this, basically the throttling up of this engine, the booster engine, takes a lot of time. So ignition actually happens at around t minus 16 seconds, and it takes around 16 seconds for it to come to full throttle, and then the hold down clamps release and the rocket lifts off. So if you are seeing this and the rocket does not lift off during the ignition, you know why it has not been lifted off. So yeah.
Now approaching the 7-minute mark until launch today. This will be a speedy 2-orbit rendezvous for Progress, with docking scheduled at 8:02 a.m. Central Time, 9:02 a.m. Eastern Time later this morning. Once Progress does arrive in the vicinity of the International Space Station later this morning, the Russian cosmonauts on board the International Space Station, Oleg Artemyev and Denis Matviev, will be inside the Zvezda service module at a control panel called the TARU system. That stands for the Telerobotically Operated Rendezvous System, and they'll be prepared to operate a joystick in the unlikely event a problem would occur with the core's automated rendezvous system.
Yep, that's what I was talking about. The course actually does all the hard work, but sometimes it fails, and then the manual override, which is the Turu, as they said, takes over and docks with it. Yes, it has been, Matt. Yes, it's been built upon R7, so that's why it has some resemblance of the R7. So yeah, you are right about that. So T minus 5 minutes, things are looking great, and the weather is very nice out there, so that's great. We'll be able to catch it, because these streams does not have a proper animation till the rocket well, means not the proper animation, but the onboard camera views, which we don't get on it. So it's good to have a good weather, because then we'll be able to catch this rocket from the ground cam itself.
And other elements of the booster's engines are being purged with nitrogen. This enables them to be fireproofed by removing any vapors of fuel and oxidizer. Now approaching the T-minus 4-minute 30-second mark and counting.
As Sneha, okay, so this is the stream which you are watching is from Roscosmos. That's why this stream is of high quality.
Because this is a quick 2-orbit rendezvous and a narrow phase angle for launch, not as many burns are required to align the orbit of Progress to the International Space Station.
And the Soyuz spacecraft, the actual Soyuz spacecraft, which carries the astronauts, has this 3-hour rendezvous orbit time, because Soyuz itself is a very, very compact spacecraft, so there is no space, nothing at all for the astronauts going to space. So it's very much necessary for them to free once they are in space. So that's why a 3-hour fast rendezvous mission is planned, and since that is able to do that, the Soyuz is able to do that, the Progress is also able to do that. But let me just tell you, for this fast rendezvous orbit, the ISS itself needs to adjust its orbit. So since the boosting and the altitude actually is controlled by Russia, the Roscosmos, or the Soyuz spacecraft, or the Progress spacecraft, and hence it is able to change the orbit of the ISS. Obviously, it takes the consultants of the NASA, but it changes the orbit of the ISS so that the Progress or the Soyuz can reach the ISS in a faster time, just 3 hours, which is
Propellant drain back
very
is
fast,
underway.
because I don't think so we have anything faster
Weather
than that.
looking good,
China is
85
also able to
degrees,
do
clear
that, but
skies.
not this fast. So yes, this is the fastest rendezvous which can happen right now. Hi, good evening. Can't read Korean or Japanese. I don't know what is that. So sorry. So T minus 2 minutes 30 seconds remaining. These are looking great. And yes, people are here watching it from US, and I know it's like 5:40 a.m. there. So good morning to all of you there.
Coming up on the 2-minute mark, the first stage is being pressurized for flight, optimizing the flow of fuel to help add structural support to the rocket. At about the T-minus 30-second mark, the first of 2 servicing umbilicals will retract from the booster, followed about 15 seconds later by the retraction of the second umbilical that will initiate the auto sequence start for engine ignition.
And now we are coming in for the final beautiful liftoff views of the rocket. So let's see how it will look like. Finally,
1 minute 30 seconds until launch.
10:30 in Ireland. Okay, Matt. that is good. So T minus 1 minute and 10 seconds. You can also see the trains there, you know. A train is there because the Soyuz rocket itself is actually moved out in trains on the launch pad.
Now
So
1
that's
minute
why
until launch.
those rail lines and trains which you can see. T minus 1 minute, things are heating up now, and at T minus 16 minutes you will see the ignition happening. So I am so excited right now. You can hear the mission control getting more busy. There you go, the first umbilical has been retracted.
Progress now on internal power, and we have separation of the first of the 2 umbilicals on your screen, as you saw there.
And okay, T minus
20 seconds and
19,
counting.
18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12,
Auto sequence has been initiated.
10, 9.
We have a
8,
command for engine
7,
sequence start.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
We have an
1.
engine ignition, turbo pumps
Liftoff.
building up to flight speed, and the second umbilical has retracted.
Whoa! Just look at
And
that.
liftoff. Liftoff of the Progress 81. Its destination, the world's only orbital laboratory, the iconic International Space Station.
No, it's not the only now. Chinese have also. Okay, they messed up there, but
Good roll, pitch, and
such
yaw
a
program
good
reported from
view
Baikonur.
out here.
First stage performance reported to be nominal from the blockhouse in Baikonur.
That is so cool.
Good vehicle stabilization reported. Good chamber pressure reported on the first stage.
Things are looking great. Now the first event will happen at T plus 1 hour 58 minutes or 38 minutes or so, which is the jettison of the side boosters and beautiful coral
Now
cross
1 minute
formation.
into today's flight, passing through maximum dynamic pressure on the vehicle.
Everything is looking great. The vehicle is performing excellently, and you can hear the cheer. This is the first time I am hearing any cheer from Russian people actually. They don't do that, but this time we heard. Maybe it's just the people outside, whatever it is,
All
but yeah.
continues to be reported going well.
Everything is looking good. T plus 1 minute 58.
Now 1 minute 40 seconds into today's flight.
You'll see the boosters being separated.
Standing by for first stage separation.
You'll see that in just 3 seconds. And there you go, the separation and the beautiful cross formation. Such a good view
And
out
first
there.
stage separation confirmed. The boosters falling away from the Progress vehicle. The vehicle now flying on second stage engines.
Second stage is the core stage, which is now being flown, which you can see out here also.
Continuing to hear good calls from Baikonur. Now approaching 2 minutes, 25 seconds into today's flight.
The next event is the MECO, main engine cutoff, and the separation and the ignition of the second stage, third
The
stage.
Progress booster traveling almost 5,000 miles an hour. Hearing good calls on the second stage engines as well.
Okay, we can, just a second.
Everything continuing to look good as we approach the
There you go. So you can
Everything continuing to look good as we approach the 3-minute mark into the flight.
Everything is looking nominal, and there you go. The fairing has been separated.
3 minutes, 15 seconds into the flight, 5.5 minutes remaining of powered flight. The launch shroud has been jettisoned.
They have degraded the animations quality for some reason, but they have added this graph out there, which we can't read because this is in Russian.
Second stage engine performance going well.
This is the onboard camera view of the Progress spacecraft, which you can see everything is looking nominal and it is
And
moving.
on the screen you're looking at a view from a camera on the upper stage of the Progress booster.
Everything is looking nominal. Plus 4 minutes 18 seconds.
Second stage separation.
Okay, we have a second stage separation. Has been
Hearing
confirmed.
good calls on the second stage. The vehicle continues to be reported to be stable. Everything is looking good.
Which we can see also on the screen that vehicle is very stable. Okay, now the ignition of the third stage I think has happened properly. We can see those things. Yep, it has happened. That was separation. Now
Second stage shutdown and separation.
Third stage has ignited properly.
And the skirt has been jettisoned. Continuing to get good reports on the vehicle. Everything looking stable. Third stage engines performing as expected. 6 minutes and 45 seconds into today's flight, 2 minutes of powered flight remaining, continuing to hear good calls. Just about 1 minute of powered flight remaining. Everything looking good. The vehicle is stable.
Things are looking good. We are just waiting in for the third stage shutdown, which is, obviously this is the upper stage, so it has the longest burn time. So once it shut down, the Progress spacecraft will separate, and you will see the solar panels getting deployed and the antennas getting deployed, and then the stream would come to an end.
Coming up on third stage shutdown and spacecraft separation.
There you go. Shutdown, separation.
Third stage shutdown and third stage separation.
There you go, guys. And yes, separation looks like this. There is a reason why it went slightly in a different manner. There you go.
As you can see, the solar arrays now being deployed.
Solar panels have been deployed, guys.
Среди ночи
Just a second.
и просыпаться рано утром.
Just a second.
В трудные моменты находить общий язык.
Right. Solar panels have been, yeah, so I was saying the solar panels have been deployed and antennas have been deployed too. And yes, there is a reason why the second stage went in a abrupt manner.
And you're now getting a view from a balcony
Because,
camera in the Russian mission.
You don't want your Progress spacecraft and the second stage to collide with each other. So they perform this maneuver in which they actually, first of all, obviously they separate, but they also do this what should I say, a horizontal maneuver or something like that, which actually makes the orbit different and they do not collide at all. And here you can see the screen of the automated rendezvous, the code screen, which you can see in front of you, and it will actually become more active, and you will
the first view from an external camera on the Progress 81. This is the same data screen that we'll be watching during rendezvous operations later today.
Exactly. So this is right now has everything as 000 because it is not near the ISS. Once it is near the ISS and approach and docking has been started, you will see some data there.
At 4:32 a.m. Central Time, Progress completed an 8.5-minute climb to orbit with everything going smoothly. Progress is now well on its way to the International Space Station. It will complete a quick 2-orbit rendezvous with a series of pre-programmed engine firings taking place to help bring Progress into the vicinity of the International Space Station for its automated docking scheduled at 8:02 a.m. Eastern Time.
You can see it's rotating.
8:02 a.m. Central Time. We'll be back on the air to cover docking, and our coverage will begin at 7:15 a.m. Central Time, with a docking at 8:02 Central Time. But for now, Progress had a successful launch and orbital insertion carrying nearly 3 tons of food, fuel, and supplies to the Expedition 67 crew on the International Space Station. We'll see you back on the air here shortly, but for now, this is Mission Control Houston.
Actually, you can see the WX, WY, WZ at 0.0 something percent. It was at 7% when it was not, at a stable orientation. So they did rotate the Progress spacecraft to have a proper stable orientation in there. So yeah, that happened. uh, yes, the rocket started 2 seconds with. That was the thing which, it was not what should I say, a timer problem or countdown problem. It was just that the timer which they had on the screen was incorrect. That's it. Everything was going perfectly well. So have this for you, and let's see what do updates do we have now. So yes, we have been you can see those things as they said that this is the only orbiting laboratory. That is not the case now. This Chinese has their own space station with the CSS, which you can see in front of you. So and they also, this space station is very very clean because it's actually built on modern hardware, so everything is very clean out there. Nothing, no wires, no exposed anything. So yeah, everything is looking really great, which you can see in front of you. And yes, you can also, you will also see the Chinese action in just 2 days, because on 5th June the Shenzhou 14 is going to space in this spacecraft, which you can see in front of you. It's docked here. So this is the spacecraft which will be used for the crewed mission, and yes, Shenzhou 14 is a crewed mission. So therefore we will be seeing that in action shortly, and you can see the actually whole document in the Chinese spacesuits, how they look like. And it's available in 8K. This actually happened during the Shenzhou 13 flight, and now the space station is empty. Now again they will be you will be seeing the that was beautiful. That was indeed a beautiful experiment. Yeah, so you will again see that the CSS will be um, will not be empty now, will be filled with the astronauts. And you saw those experiments because she, the girl out there, is actually a teacher, and she like loves to demonstrate experiments to students. So that's why those cool experiments were there, which you just saw. So yeah, everything else is great. uh, okay, someone made this thing. That's cool. So yeah, as I was saying, okay, so this isn't something new. The new telescope facility in the Himalayan region will now keep a watch on the overhead sky to identify transient or variable object, gravitational, space debris, and asteroid. And yes, this is actually much necessary. You can see this is how the telescope looks like: gravitational lenses, supernova, space, and debris. Because India has been struck by the Chinese rocket debris 2 times now, so something should be there. So this is a astronomers in India, Belgium, and Canada. Employs a 4-meter diameter rotating mirror made up of a thin film of liquid mercury to collect and focus light. Okay, that's great. First liquid mirror telescope in India and the largest in Asia. So this is something very cool. I'll see. I'll have to read more about it now. We'll see, and I'll update you regarding the same. But yeah, that's how it is. So we got to see some good cameras, good views, and everything. And yes, the launch went as per the plan, I must say that. So yay, Starship is just enormous, humongous, colossal, whatever you wanna say. So yes, and yeah, I was talking about this one, this thing, this abrupt maneuver, which you can see the the RCS firing from the side, and to make it lose its orientation, just because, so that it actually separates, and there is no chances of it being colliding with the spacecraft. So yeah, that's that. Now the docking is scheduled at 3.5 hours, which is 9 a.m. EDT, after 2 orbits in the autonomous flight manner. So yeah, that is that. So thank you all for joining in. PSLV C53 launch date. See, the SSLV and the PSLV C53, the things are going in very rapidly at ISRO, and they are planning for a June launch itself for both the SSLV as well as this uh, PSLV C53. But seriously, I just don't believe in these timelines, because initially it was said that it is confirmed that the SSLV will fly in May, but that did not happen, and it's now June. So since it did not fly in May, SSLV, so June can be a good month for it to fly now, a believable month. But I can't say anything about the PSLV C53, although this PSLV C53 is being on hold for a long time. Not actually on hold, but it's in on, I should say, in preparation for a very long time. So we just don't know. Thank you, space exploration. And thanks you all for joining in. Yes, Matt, you will see the Chinese in actions on 5th June, and I'll be covering that. And yes, the Chinese action is very hard to catch, and it's even hard to get in some uh, English coverage or some or a proper detailed coverage. So don't worry about it. You are on a right channel. So just subscribe on this, and you will get everything space, basically everything space on this channel. I'm the things are going in the back end to not only improve the live streams, but also to have more videos in there. So that's the update I want to uh, share with you. So thank you all for joining in. I really appreciate you, man. And so yep. uh, until then, this is Priyanshu Roila. You just saw Rocket Yarn. Stay safe, stay healthy, and bye bye.